Hello students, in this video we will discuss about heat. Heat is a form of energy and it makes a substance hotter. Heat cannot be seen by us, but we can feel the heat by temperature effect it produces. When heat is given to a substance, the temperature increases and the substance becomes hotter. For example, a utensil is kept in a gas burner, the temperature increases and it becomes hotter. When heat is removed from the substance, the temperature decreases. For example, when water is kept in a refrigerator, the heat is removed from the water and it becomes colder. In our daily life, we come across so many objects. Some objects are hot, some objects are cold. For example, tea is hot, but ice is cold. Soup is hot, but ice cream is cold. The frying pan kept in a gas burner is hot, but handle of a frying pan is cold. Children, we usually decide whether the object is hot or cold just by touching it, right? And sometimes, however, it is not reliable in telling us whether an object is hot or cold. Okay, I'll tell you one activity. Take 3 bowls, bowl A, bowl B, bowl C. In bowl A, take cold water, and in bowl B, take hot water, and in bowl C, take lukewarm water. Now, dip your left hand into the cold water, the bowl A, and dip your right hand into the bowl B. Now, you can feel different, right? Now, quickly take out your hands and dip into the bowl C. Okay? Now, you feel different. See, in left hand, okay, left hand which was there in the bowl A, now you feel hotter, and right hand which was there in the bowl B, now you feel colder. So it is impossible, right? The same water you feel hot as well as cold. So we conclude that we should not depend on the sense of touch for estimating the hotness. We need a reliable measure of the hotness of an object. So, the reliable measurement of hotness of an object called temperature, and the temperature is measured by a device called thermometer. Now we will discuss about the thermometer and the temperature. Now we will discuss about temperature. If we touch a utensil kept on a burning gas stove, it feels to be very hot. We say that the temperature of utensil is very high. On the other hand, if we touch a utensil placed in a refrigerator, it feels to be very cold, and we say that the temperature of utensil is very low. Thus, a hot object has a high temperature, whereas a cold object has a low temperature. This gives as the following definition of temperature. The temperature of an object is the degree of hotness or coldness of the object. The temperature of an object tells us how hot or cold the object is. A high temperature of an object tells us that it is very hot, whereas low temperature of the object tells us that is quite cold. Okay, for example, the temperature of boiling point is 100 degree Celsius, and which is quite high. So, boiling water feels to be very hot. Temperature is measured by using a device called thermometer. A thermometer has a scale marked on it which is used to read the temperature. The most common temperature scale marked on thermometers for measuring the temperature is Celsius scale. The temperature is expressed in the unit of degree Celsius. In the unit degree Celsius, the small circle at the top denotes the term degree and the letter C denotes Celsius. So, the unit degree Celsius is read as degree Celsius or degree C. Now, we will discuss about measuring temperature and thermometers. A thermometer is a device for measuring the temperature of an object. Okay, there are two types of thermometers. One is laboratory thermometer and one is clinical thermometer. Both these thermometers are based on the Celsius scale of temperature, and the laboratory thermometer as well as clinical thermometers are mercury thermometers. When heat is applied to the thermometer bulb containing mercury, the body whose temperature is to be measured, okay, the mercury expands and rises in the glass tube of thermometer. This fact is used in measuring the temperature of the hot body. Now we will discuss about laboratory thermometer first. A laboratory thermometer is used for measuring the temperature in science laboratory. A laboratory thermometer is made up of a glass tube having a thin bore in it. There is a glass bulb containing mercury which is joined at the lower end of the glass tube. The top end of glass tube is sealed. The whole length of thermometer glass tube is graduated in degree Celsius. The graduations marked on the tube of a commonly used laboratory thermometer are from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. So, a common laboratory thermometer can be measured temperatures from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. This is called the range of thermometer. Thus, the range of a laboratory thermometer is generally from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. Now, we will now describe how temperature is measured by using a laboratory thermometer. Okay, we will measure the temperature of hot water kept in a beaker. Okay, take a laboratory thermometer and hold the thermometer from its glass tube and immerse the bulb of thermometer in hot water. And the bulb of thermometer should not touch the sides or the bottom of the beaker. We will see the shining thread of mercury moving up in the thermometer tube. After some time, the mercury thread will stop rising and stand at one place. So, wait till the mercury thread becomes steady. We then read the temperature on thermometer tube which corresponds to the top of mercury thread. This will give us the temperature of hot water. Okay. Now we will discuss about precautions in using a laboratory thermometer. The laboratory thermometer should be held vertically, okay, while measuring the temperature, and it should not be tilted. Next, the thermometer bulb should be surrounded from all sides by the substance whose temperature is to be measured, and it should not touch the sides or bottom of the beaker. Okay. The thermometer bulb should not touch the sides or bottom of the container in which the substance is taken. Read the thermometer while its bulb is still in touch with the substance whose temperature is being measured. Read the thermometer by keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. Okay. Next, do not hold on the thermometer by the bulb. Okay. This is very important. Children, please do not hold the thermometer by the bulb. Okay. Now, handle the thermometer with care. It can break if it against any hard object. Okay. This cannot be used to measure the human body temperature, because as soon as we take out the bulb of the laboratory thermometer from our mouth, the level of mercury in its tube will start falling quickly. This will give a wrong value of the body temperature. It is clear that for measuring the body temperature, we should use a thermometer in which the mercury level does not fall even when its bulb is removed from the mouth. Okay, this A clinical thermometer is such a thermometer. Before we describe the thermometer, we should know the meaning of the term. Okay, that is kink. A normal temperature of a human body is 37 degrees Celsius. When a person gets fever, his body temperature rises. The thermometer used for the temperature of human body is called clinical thermometer. A clinical thermometer is used to measure our body temperature by a doctor. A clinical thermometer, okay, this consists of a long glass tube having a thin and uniform bore. Okay, there is a glass bulb at one end of the glass tube. This glass bulb contains mercury. Outside the glass bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen in the thermometer tube. The other end of the glass tube is sealed. Okay, the temperature scale is marked on the glass tube of the clinical thermometer. Okay, and the temperature scale marked from 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. Okay, a clinical thermometer, okay, has a kink, okay, in its glass tube just above the bulb containing mercury. The kink is to prevent the backflow of mercury into the thermometer bulb. When the thermometer bulb is removed from the mouth of a patient, the kink prevents the mercury level in the thermometer tube from falling on its own. So, even when the thermometer bulb is removed from the mouth of a patient, the mercury thread will keep standing at the maximum level reached. Due to this, we can read the correct body temperature of the patient even after removing the thermometer bulb from his mouth. Now, we'll discuss about precautions in using a clinical thermometer. The clinical thermometer should be washed before and after use. Okay, preferably with an antiseptic solution. Okay. Next, before using the clinical thermometer, we should ensure that the mercury level in its tube is below 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, never hold a thermometer from its bulb. Next, read the clinical thermometer by keeping the level of mercury along the line of sight. So, you to read the temperature, hold the thermometer horizontally in your hand and rotate it slowly. Okay, a position will come when you will see a magnified image of the mercury thread in its tube. Now, we read the temperature on thermometer. Okay, the top of the mercury thread, with the top of the mercury thread, this will give the body temperature of the patient. Now, we will discuss about the difference between clinical and laboratory thermometer. The clinical thermometer has a very short temperature range, whereas laboratory thermometer has a large temperature range from minus 10 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius. In clinical thermometer, range is 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And in clinical thermometer has a kink in its tube to prevent the backflow of mercury into the bulb, whereas laboratory thermometer has no kink. The clinical thermometer measures temperature more accurately, up to 0.1 degree Celsius, than a laboratory thermometer, which usually measures up to 1 degree Celsius. Now, this is a digital thermometer. Most of the common thermometers are mercury thermometers, which use a liquid metal called mercury for their working. Mercury is a toxic substance, okay, that is a poisonous substance, and hence it is very difficult to dispose of safely if a thermometer breaks. Okay, so there is a lot of concern over the use of mercury in thermometers. These days, digital thermometers are available which do not use mercury. So in this video we have discussed about temperature, measuring temperature, laboratory thermometer and clinical thermometer and digital thermometer. In the next class we will discuss about transfer of heat, that is conduction, convection, radiation and we will discuss about poor and good conductors of heat. Thank you, children.